So after a short break, I kind of figure out what I want to work on next. Also, I realized that my hotkey for regen in AutoCAD, actually it's a macro that has regen and hatch to back, good combination to have, is F12. That was also my hotkey for stopping the recording. So I did some stuff, and I gotta do it again because I didn't record. So this is really important. If you have text here, I'm just gonna show you. Actually, I'm gonna load that. So you can see a really weird value for PT1, which I still have conveniently set up with the field, right? So I'm just gonna do GB, run it as normal. I'm gonna put that in there and do regen. It didn't stop my recording this time, which is awesome. Point as you'd expect. So I'm gonna do GB again. I was gonna type A for alignment. Be nice if I add. I'm gonna try to add something to this in a little bit. I'll show you. But anyways, I'll type A for alignment. Now I'll hit escape to cancel the routine. I'm gonna hit F12. Notice that even though I only hit A, it went alignment, and it's typed exactly as it was in my routine. So when you have init get and you have these keywords and you actually use an uppercase letter, you only have to type that uppercase letter. So just to test it out, I want to let's actually type alignment out full, and that worked. Text. So you can type it out full if you really wanted, but to save your users some trouble, you can actually set it up just like I have. Capital letters in front, and you'll be able to only type the one letter and still get what you want. So one reason I didn't put the text option at this level is because if you type A for alignment, the program might think that's A for the grid start letter. And unfortunately, we can't really work with that. So I'm going to show you one more thing quickly. That's kind of why I have this out here, which I did in that video that I accidentally canceled. So I'm going to reload this like that. We're going to do GB. I'm going to just type some garble. Escape. So you have that bit code gives you a really neat thing you can take advantage of. You can handle arbitrary input of almost anything. So that's how I got that that point routine to work that I showed you. So it'll take in that as a string, and that particular routine, it had to take in whatever numbers you'd enter as a string, process it, and that actually had a kind of a complicated one because I was using imperial measurements, and I had to somehow get that into from a text string into I think a integer or double or something. Probably more like a double, or a real as in a AutoLISP they're called. So anyways, I've explained that as best as I can this late in the evening, so we're ready to move on. So anyways, this is working the way I want. I looked up some stuff. If you're ever doing a get string and you want to add spaces to it, this is something I tried to show when I accidentally canceled the video. You'd put T in there. Now I was going to do that. So this just means when I use the get string function and the user has to type in whatever they're supposed to type in this case it's going to be either a number or a letter, uppercase or lowercase. Like this, they'd technically be able to put spaces in. And I'll do that when I create the prefix and suffix, but we don't need that here. In fact, that would be advantageous to leave it out. So we'll do just that. Up here, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to see if I can. Just going to see if this works. Load that back in. Unfortunately, it didn't. Maybe I gotta put the whole words in. Actually, let's so that should go there actually. Give her one more try, then we'll move on. Oh yeah, there we go. So now I can click either one. So sometimes that's easier for some users just to have that option rather than having to actually type it in. Because I'm a typer, I don't mind typing, but being able to click down there is very helpful for some people. Okay, so during the break, I was able to think about what I wanted to do with our sub function for setting the text. So I think I'm okay with setting the text. I still got to figure out exactly how I'm going to increase the increments. And I'm sure it's not going to be too arduous, but we'll see. So I'll do a find replace, I think. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. So we got the flag in here. That's good enough. Well, and equals flag nil equals flag bad value. So you'd wonder why not have just one. Having two values in here gives us the opportunity to generate a error message based on the user input instead of just not having that, I guess. Okay, so while or equals that or that. Oh, I spotted a problem. You probably did too. That this will kick us out of the routine. So I need to think of something different right here. I didn't. Glad I caught that before I. Well, I would have been pretty easy to discover that once we started running the routine. But actually, I got an idea. Just to kind of get us moving, so I don't have to think too much. I'm gonna. Make sure this says current selection, just so in case I had another flag variable in there, I'm going to do flag replace with flag 1. Okay, so I got those flag 1s in there. So Q flag 2 nil. Flag 2 nil, flag 1 bad value. Very sloppy code, but it's going to get us where we need to go. Check that little piece. It says it's okay. Let's I'm missing a bracket on my that should be the end of my while statement. Do a and while. Okay, so that's going to check our values. So as soon as I get out of this condition statement, if does not equal flag 1 bad value. Remember, these are case sensitive, so it's not the best idea to use text instead of nil or true, but if we're careful, we can get away with it. If does not equal flag 1 bad value, set q flag 2 true. Could be anything really. And I didn't need that in the lambda statement or the map car. I need it just right there, I think is where it's got to go, because it's going to run that routine through our list, which is just a list of each character in the string. So if does not equal flag 1 bad value, do this, or else prompt invalid input. Please enter a valid value. And while and defund. Let's see, make sure nothing's wrong. I had a bad experience with and or statements before earlier in this video series, so I'm glad that's not giving me any errors. So let's see, set q user input. So once we get out of this mess, we'll do a set q we'll see how that works. It's getting late. I might have screwed something up, but we'll see if that actually gets us what we want. So I'm going to save this. Remember, don't use any code in here. Make sure you well, you didn't see I just loaded that routine. So we're going to do grid bubble, choose text. Oh, it didn't change our text. Oh no, it did. It's just not putting that in. Okay, so we can change that quickly. So I think all we need to do there is, there's our grid bubble text. Set q. We actually don't need this anymore. That was just a temporary line of code. I think I might have deleted a bracket. No, we're okay. Check everything. Load it. Oh, there, it worked. Doesn't look very centered, does it? Oh, I remember. Not much we can do there. So I'm just going through and testing every double zeros. Let's see if that lets us do it. Okay, that's gonna work out the way I want it, I think. Let's do 1 million. Invalid input. Interesting. Okay, so I can't do 1 million, but I can do 10,000. So got something in my code that's, I don't know if that's my code or what, but I think so far everything's working pretty good. So anyways, I just gotta do some quick planning. I know I'm kind of winging the lessons, but at the same time, I'm just between segments, I'm thinking about exactly what I want to do, just so I don't fly too far off course. Okay, so I think I'm ready to decide how to sort this guy out right here. Have my definition, my function defined there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make, I think, another global variable. I'll just type it out manually, just not if equals nil. Text value, or grid bubble text value type. Grid bubble text value type. Numeric. Okay. Only if it equals nil. I'm going to copy that down to this. It's turning into a bit of a dog's breakfast. Just look here, I got that. If or equals flag 1. Oh, no, we'll do a condition. That's going to be way smarter, because then it'll just skip over it if it doesn't equal one of these values. So condition equals numeric. You know what? Try and be smart. It's late, but I'm going to try and be smart about this. No, I changed my mind. Really, it doesn't matter. uppercase. Really, I should be more consistent with my naming conventions. But I don't think this is going to cause us any problems. Okay, so I was setting that global variable. Make a new subfunction. Defun grid bubble text increment increase. If equals my grid bubble text value type. These variable names are getting really long. Want to rename this to something smarter. Maybe just that. Whatever, it's late. Let's just get her done. Okay, so KCS global variable type numeric. Set Q old value atom to integer. Just see what this so if it's numeric, it's very unlikely this won't work. I might not need to error trap it. So yeah, that's actually going to one line this. So 1 plus 10,001. Interesting number I chose to leave off of. TA. So the advantage to doing all this mess is that now if it's numeric, I have a really easy way of turning it into a string. So now if we have a numeric value, we're done already. I can test this. Should I test it? So say if uppercase Let's just have a gander at this, see what we can work with. So all I have to do is get that ASCII code value and increase it by 1. But I also have to do condition equals caught a mistake there. I don't want to change this to that, I want to change this to that. So there we go. Okay, that's working. Okay, condition equals Z. And that syntax is completely wrong. Let's see, do that. And this, make it look pretty. Means if we get to Z, it's going back to A. So when you do an if statement, you have to add a program, but not for condition. You can put any number of statements right here. So this, these outer brackets, I guess, kind of handle that whole detail. So you see a lot of coders, they'll wrap a lot of code within one of these condition statements. It's super useful, but it can be really hard on beginners to actually know what's inside it and what isn't. So does not equal. So now we're going to start putting our code in here. So I got to find a way to take, I'm just going to copy that. See, we're uppercase, capital letters. So greater than 64, less than 91. So 65 to 90. Equal 65 to 90. So I gotta figure out how I get that. So I'm gonna search is AutoLISP string handling functions. Let's pull that just to let you look what I'm looking at right now. This will work. So we'll have a little gander. If I don't figure out what I'm doing soon, I'm going to have to pause the video and come up with a plan. So I could turn the string into a list. This one right here, right? Because it's only one character long, so I have a list of one item, which seems like kind of waste, because I want to just grab the... Sure, there's a way just to grab the one character. And there's some, as you notice, like there's supposed to be a space right here. So I'm gonna just copy this into my code and I'll show you guys what I was about to say. So let's put that on this line. I'll copy that in. So this is actually your string. position 0. Let's see if that works. So I think I have provision in my code that will only allow a 1 character long string if it's a letter. If str length user input if greater than, yeah, so I think we're safe there. You know, at the end of this, I'm going to test the code. I might have to fix a few things, but the main thing is I want to show you guys that what we can actually do. Now, this seems like it's taken a long time. If I wasn't doing a tutorial, I'd probably be a little bit faster. Quite honestly, once you get all these sub-functions done, you'll build similar code and you'll be able to just like rocket through this stuff once you kind of get a handle on what you're doing. Just to let you know, I haven't been Lisp coding for a little bit. That's the main reason I want to put this lesson together is I didn't post anything new on my channel in a really long time, so I wanted to put something out there. The other reason is I was out of the Lisp code for so long. I just wanted a refresher for myself, but okay, so now all we have to do, I know how to get the number out of it now. I just have to figure out how to plug a number of an increment 1 higher back into a string. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that page over again. I think I might have to pause the video because, to be honest, I think I'll have to Google that. Okay, so pausing the video and I'll let you know my solution. Okay, so we're back at it, and my solution was this, the CHR, car character variable. Let's see. Actually, I haven't tested it yet. Okay, so I think that'll work if I put that to B. Oops. Okay, so set Q. That mistake again. Okay, so let's put that there. So if equals that, it goes to A. So set Q. Okay, now we're cooking with gasoline. So I got that in there. That was actually easier than I thought. So, you know, AutoLISP is a very good code. It's old. The string... What did I just do? Oh, I can't do this in here. Okay, I'll just close that. And the condition. Close off this if statement. So just do 3 if statements in a row. Really good programmer, you'd be surprised they can get this down to just a few lines of code. But Lisp actually executes quite efficiently. was almost too easy. I think something's going to go wrong. Been really lucky, actually. When I'm programming, there'll be a lot more bug testing than you're seeing. I'm just getting lucky. So grid bubble text increment. I just want to find, let's do this. Just making sure I didn't rename it on. It's getting a little bit late, but so I've done this one without even really needing any variables. Let's just check the code, make sure nothing's broken. Grab this. Go up to our main function. Let's delineate this with something a bit more pronounced. Makes it easier to find the way in the code. So we'll put the attribute in there. All we need to do to activate that is that. So if this doesn't work, it's probably my bedtime, and I'll fix it tomorrow. And I might or might not include this in the video if the code is broken. I'll have to, might have forgot to save a backup, so hopefully it works. Or else I'll have to explain in the actual lesson why the code looks so much different. So let's do grid bubble. Okay, so we got the increment working, but it kicks us out of the alphabetic increment. But I think that's actually easy to solve. I'm glad the routine's almost working. It's completely broken. It's harder to fix than almost working. Oop, and we got the advantage of that little trick I showed you, putting those fields in those variables. So I'm just going to have one quick scan. So if equals nil. It's got some bad code here, as you can see. So, okay, condition if flag1 equals numeric. Set q, grid text numeric. If flag1 equals lowercase letter, set that to lowercase. We're gonna can't see any problems in this. There might be something not catching my eye. Let's fix this at least. Fortunately, I can't see the problem at first pass, but I think that flag 1 might be the issue. Give myself a couple minutes to fix this, and if I don't, it's bedtime and I'll fix it tomorrow morning. So this variable flag 1. Very sloppy drafting, but nobody else will ever see this file or have to work on it. So let's do the grid bubble text. Let's put A in there. Let's do an F12. Or sorry, okay, that's working. Text. Oops. Grid bubble. T for text. A. Oh, look, it doesn't even show it in there. Text. Oops. Grid bubble. Text. Let's do the X. Damn it. So close to getting it to work. Anyways, we're going to fix that problem, I think, tomorrow. Let's just do the grid bubble, text, 1. Okay, so it's working decently. So the things we're going to update is we're going to add, I mentioned that alignment property. We're going to drive that from our Lisp routine. And I'm going to make it so you can keep inserting them without restarting the command. You can still insert them quickly as is, but I think it would be more, I guess, more professional, more like an AutoCAD command. I guess like, you know, the line command, it's like that, but sometimes it's better to have a command that, you know, you actually have to hit enter to escape out of, so you can enter, add multiple blocks in one command instance, I guess. Anyways, let's clean up this mess, and we'll resume this tomorrow. Okay, so I'm back after a nice little rest. So I've done a little bit of work since, I haven't changed the code, but I've just added some stuff here, doing some bug testing. Let us do a refresh. So I was about to actually change a bunch of code, rehash everything, and then I found my problem. So this should be here. I believe the same goes right here. So normally if you name your variables accordingly, you can avoid stuff like that. I think I've named my variables decently. I was just tired, I suppose. Anyways, I think that will fix our problem. So oops. Let's put X in there. Perfect. So one thing we'll still need to do is actually close AutoCAD, reopen it, and make sure the routine still works. That should be and when you're dealing with this many variables, that should be part of your protocol. Because I still haven't dealt with a few things yet. Let's do grid bubble, text, let's put that, X, perfect. So quite honestly, if I never fix that, I don't think anyone would ever even know, but I guess good programming etiquette, it's good to find your errors and fix them and whatnot. If you're in a hurry, your routine works and it's not, how should I say, critical. Sometimes I do routines that they might actually detail a structural member, and I wouldn't want those to have any errors, so I bug test those quite extensively. Something like a grid bubble, this is just a time saver. It's not anything critical. You could apply a lot of this towards something that's critical, but as is, it's just not really all that critical. Okay, so that's all working. The bug is solved. What I might do, Maybe, yeah, I'll restart AutoCAD right now. I'll save all my work, close my Lisp, save my file, and now I'm going to restart AutoCAD, open it, and make sure everything works like it's supposed to.